It is a beautiful day for some DSA, and welcome back to the Cozy Club, my friends. In today's video, we are going to take on the tenacious task of listing every single character in this game and my one sentence or one phrase to capture what I think about that character or their usefulness within DSA. All right, now before we start today's video, my friends, I want to say thank you so much. We are at 8,000 subscribers here at the Cozy Club, and if you haven't joined the club, guys, admission is free. All you got to do is go down and click that red subscribe button down below to join the best community within Disney. And if you haven't already, feel free to join the Twitch, Discord, or Twitter on your way there. Let's go ahead and start today's video. Now listen, Cozy Club, there is a lot more I could say about each of these characters, and I usually have monthly tier lists. There wasn't too many changes this month, so I am going to combine that into next month and have a huge November tier list video coming out to you guys. But in the meantime, I thought it would be fun to give my brief thoughts about all of these characters. Ready, set, let's go. Aladdin won't show you a whole new world, but his slows and evades are enough to keep him kind of meta within a kingdom squad. Anger. Now, was there a contractual obligation to only have one inside-out character? Kind of feels out of place. However, his kit does have some legs on it with a nice purge and some solid damage. Ana, an excellent support with or without frozen teammates when combined with Elsa makes for one of the best duos within DSA. Ariel, a powerful mid-game healer who excels with synergy with the Oceanic faction and the slow debuffs. However, she's still trying to find her legs within the late game. BALOO. If I went to the Cave of Wonders and found the lamp and had 3 wishes, I would use all 3 to wish him out of this game. Barley, the taunt-removing onward trio support character who's got some great buffs and takes Ian up to another level. Amax, the real doctor within DSA who's the tankiest tank within the game, has an auto-taunt, purges, heals, and cleanses. Big Bad Wolf, the taunt remover who will huff and puff and blow your entire team down, except that you'll see it coming and have plenty of time to stop it with his low speed and decent health. Big Baby, a strong club conquest character with a high offensive stat and some stuns. However, with the low ability damage, it's best to keep this scary baby in the crib. Bo Peep. Waiting for Bo Peep is much like counting sheep and you might fall asleep. However, a good leadership, but the Toy Story team lacks the oomph. Cobra Bubbles. Bubbles fundamentally changes the game with his tactics, great buffs, and silences, and he is definitely the one to call. Buzz Lightyear, middle of the pack toy offensive unit that relies on other Toy Story characters with high damage and low ability cooldowns. Captain Hook. If it wasn't for his bad survivability, he would fit perfect within the Oceanic faction. However, he's got terrible stats but is good against shield bearers. Chunk. Keep those debuffs and taunts rolling. Within Club Conquest, an elite character and an easy farm recommendation. Daisy Duck. Wicked fast duck that increases helpful effects and has some nice counters. However, she is reliant on her fellow duck, Donald. Darkwing Duck. Time to get dangerous without the danger. He's got a great purge mechanic and is good against villains. However, there's only about 5 meta villains currently within the game. Dash. Warning, he might kill your entire team with one ability, but this hero's kryptonite? Stitch and Gantu. He'll be too busy dodging counters to do much else. Davy Jones, the Knight of the Living Dead. This powerful, fast Oceanic character can put on some devastating silences and call up his army of dead and even live through death. Demona, continuous damage team staple who can instantly activate all dots on the field. However, her stats have not aged well. Donald Duck, you wouldn't like him when he's angry, and with his partner in crime, he's even better. Donald puts much needed firepower in the tank role that is usually lackluster. Dr. Facilier, the king of PvE and the ultimate healer and support unit who manipulates the battlefield with taunts, charms, and polymorphs. Elastigirl, you would be surprised by her right hook. However, even with the rest of the family, she sadly falls flat. Elsa, let it go is what you'll need to do at your shot of winning. If you let her get 4 turns and empowered, you might as well go look for another match. Fred, the best multi-purpose tank in the game who protects, destroys, and inflicts powerful debuffs on your opponents. Frozone, the coolest character whose stats do not match his personality. With his lackluster offense and slows, he's even left off the Incredibles roster. Gantu, 2 words, Galactic Armada. Oh, and he loves it when you call him Big Papa. Gaston, no one tanks like Gaston in the worst way possible. A kingdom tank whose kit is obviously from the beta. Genie, Multi-purpose Swiss Army knife support character who can save others from diming, switch over harmful effects, and carry the battle offensively. Gizmo. Baymax Mini. Had great viability before Baymax came into the game, but has a great use still in reducing cooldowns on those tech characters and being stocky and fast. Go-Go. The new speed champion can reach up to 196 speed and lap her opponents. Single target damage? Never heard of it. Goofy. Amazing cleanser and dancer who's gonna dance his cares away. However, once that taunt is purged, he's stuck with the slow and somewhat useless. He will have to wait on the rest of the Sensational Six. Hades. Formerly known as the King of Damage and one of the best mythicals within the game, which is not saying much. After new characters, he's waiting for the inevitable Hercules to come and launch his way to DSA. HIRO Hamada. Farm him, level him, go after him. Best leader, best support, and the best character in the game. Upgrades characters around him literally and figuratively. Honey Lemon. Queen of debuffs and an amazing support who serves up stuns, slows, and intimidates, and also cleanses on her passive. Hopper. The original full team purge, but Baymax ate his breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which is serving him justice from taking all that food from Flick. Ian, the off-meta offensive hero who would make his dad proud by the devastating powerful attack he unleashes. Make sure you have his brother with him. Jack, a heavy RNG-dependent offensive character who might look like the end of the Jack at The Incredibles, or like the Jack we saw in the 90% rest of the movie. A baby. Jack Skellington. Nothing to fear about his kit, and he's not even the best skeleton in the game. Jack Sparrow. Charm and his name might get Jack some play in mid-game. However, he goes from the Jack of all trades to the Jack of one ability. Captain Jack in the late game looks awfully like the later Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Awful. Jafar. His charm can make or break a battle, and his viability. Jangles. Nobody likes clowns, and apparently Glue doesn't either. Jasmine, aka the Raja spawner who relies on Kingdom Synergy. Raja carries the load as Jasmine throws some birds. Jessie, this cowgirl is too hard to get for what she does in battle. Judy Hops, evade leadership may seem gimmicky, but it can make or break battles. She falls in the shadow of Moana, and she needs the rest of her Zootopians to lift up in the meta. King Triton. Offense, support, whatever you choose, the King of the Sea will dominate, cleanse your way to victory, and a powerful unit in the raids. KRISTOFF. Stone Wall and Stone Trolls, he's a great damage sponge. However, with newer character kits, he can be shut down quite easily. KRONK. Let him sit on your bench and make spinach puffs. LOTSO. King of Conquest with health bonuses, amplifies fear teams, and the King of Damage. Zerg. MANTICORE. Middle of the road tank that has synergy with the Onward that is just keeping her viable. Maui. Premier oceanic tank whose lead helps him and his teammates weather the storm against faster opponents. Merida. High damage potential character who's gated by a wonky wisp mechanic. You would be brave to use her in the meta. Merlin. The character that makes other characters better. A solid support whose every single time turns comes around as something solid to do. Madam Mim. An emerging potential meta character whose harmful effects spread, has some great mechanics, and no one can do what Madam Mim can do. Moana, the basic queen. Smack your enemies with paddles and send them to oblivion with her wave. However, her force taunts can harm and help you. Monterey Jack, an underwhelming downtown tank with very little unique abilities. Mordu, the OG offense tank who went from Grizzly to Cub when other characters emerged with stronger abilities. Has a hard time finding team identity with other wild characters and within the wild faction. Mr. Incredible, a powerful auto taunter who's had the door shut on him from silence and purge metas. Mulan, ready and waiting for the buff to princesses. She can be plugged into kingdom teams and take on Shan Yu. She is slow to start battle and has a bit of an outdated kit. Olaf, do you want to build a snowman? No, probably not. His most useful thing outside of tactics, charms, and reviving is used to get Elsa. Oogie Boogie. Mass debuff tank who's gated by long cooldowns, but he can put some fear in opponents and is the ultimate bullet sponge. Pete has a one-hit KO possibility, but with the lack of a cohesive kit and horrible stats, he does not find himself on many rosters. Pocahontas. Can we get a rework? Potentially strong leadership who's gated by slow speed and a mediocre kit. Prince Eric. This raid prince offers a powerful passive and taunt that's going to keep him in most lineups, and he shields great against powerful AoE attacks with his teammates. Queen of Hearts. A purging summoning queen who's left looking for cooldowns and a team to fit on. rather than defeating her opponents. QUORRA, an attacker that relies on RNG and critical chance and is pretty solid on defense. Rafiki, healer in a game that treats healers like Wildebeest treated Mufasa. Too soon? Rafiki is somehow less useful in DSA than he is crazy in Lion King. Randall, high single target damage dealer who finds some viability skulking around fear TSV teams. Robin Hood, right on the edge of viability, is eagerly waiting Gear 8 to be able to be a reliable purger and can give guaranteed crits to his allies. Sally, underrated offense character who can inflict mass blinds like a pre-nerf peanut pummel. Scar, the short-lived king of the jungle's viability passed just like his reign. His summoning of hyenas and continuous damage lands him a spot on some teams and a PvE spot. Scrooge, a helpful effect ticking time bomb when paired with Gizmo Duck, and his RNG purge can make or break a battle. And your sanity. Sergeant Calhoun, middle of the pack tech teammate who has a beacon that can taunt, finding her right at home with tech teams. Shan Yu, a powerful offensive attacker with great ability who has the chance to bring Kingdom to the meta with his powerful speed leadership. Shere Khan, crit reliant offensive unit who finds his home with continuous damage teams and hopefully one day Wilds. Sheriff of Nottingham, this powerful offensive character with his speed stealing passive can find his way on many meta countering teams. Simba, as you're hitting plenty of ones as his defense gets higher when his health gets lower, leaving many mid-game players posting on forums and Reddit that the game is broken. Sorcerer Mickey, full team slow chance and the Kingdom tag keeps him somewhat meta and viable in many teams. Steamboat Mickey, a tank with viable support abilities, however in this case a long farm does not equal a strong character. Stitch, Experiment 626 is an incredible late game attacker whose arm stacking and counter attacks and counter against charges leaves him an amazing character for the late game once completing tower. Solely, unique fear shield leaves him deceptively tanky, however with his slow speed he does not find himself on most rosters. Sven, Antlers of Steel can have him one-shotting characters with the right setup, however it needs to be on a frozen team to be mostly viable. Syndrome, Buzz Lightyear with a much better faction looks at the weak spots in enemies to give his DTV teammates critical hits. The Horn King, unique Cauldron buff mechanic, but there's not enough there to give him any teeth. Tinkerbell, lackluster support who has the unfortunate role of being the least viable oceanic character. Violet, elusive support who lands only on the incredible teams. Luckily with her synergy, it keeps her somewhat viable. Wasabi, devastating attacker who takes some time to ramp up, but once he gets going can eliminate the enemy team swiftly. Woody, not that sheriff you've seen in the movies, a low tier support who's decent in Club Conquest. Yokai, Club Conquest defense all-star who continues to rise up with his Big Hero 6 and tech affinities. Yzma, she does have a mass speed reduction which is rare to come by. Unfortunately, the rest of her stats and abilities are horrible and she most likely won't see a second turn. Zerg, slow to rise, but once this king of damage has a turn, he's going to send one or more characters packing. Whew, we just went through every single character within DSA. My friends, there is more than one sentence to say about them, and they have a ton more attributes to talk about each and every character, but hopefully you liked today's video. If you did, go ahead and leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. And my friends, until next time, stay cozy.